Chairman of the MPP, Adams Mahama. He has been in lawful custody in the last 8 years. He is to be retried after the jury, which heard his case, returned a hung jury. Now, his alleged accomplice, Mr. Alangdi Asabke, was unanimously found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and sentenced to death by hanging. He is appealing the sentencing at the Court of Appeal.
Mr. Gregory Afoko was arrested in May 2015 and arraigned before the High Court in Accra on 2 counts of murder and conspiracy. Mr. Afoko, together with Asbiki Alangdi, are alleged to have caused the death of Adams Mahama, a former Upper East Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, by pouring a substance believed to be acid on him. On April 27, 2023, a 7-member jury returned a 4-3 majority not guilty verdict for Gregory Afoko for conspiracy and murder. His lawyer, Mr. Stephen Sowachawe, filed an application for bail which was opposed by the prosecution led by Ms. Dom Esi Fiaju. She submitted that when granted bail, the accused will abscond from the trial due to the severity of the offence. Ms. Fiaju assured that Mr. Afoko will be prosecuted within reasonable time. Delivering the ruling, Justice Louise Simmons held that there has not been an unreasonable delay to retry Mr. Afoko. She noted that although the accused has been in custody for the past 8 years, both the prosecution and the defence have admitted that within that period, 2 separate trials have been conducted, which suggests that a year spent in custody is not because of unreasonable delay. The court urged the accused to repeat his bail application at another time.
Let's move away from the courts and education now. The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has held a forum in Accra to discuss and explain the fundamentals of the Basic Education Certificate Examination (BEC) e-grading system. WAEC also used the occasion to introduce the BEC marking scheme to disabuse the public of misconceptions that it has separate marking schemes for public and private schools.
The forum followed a rejoinder that the WAEC office issued to an article that alleged that the council is using 2 different marking schemes, one for private schools and the other for public schools. The head of the National Examinations Administration Department of WAEC, Madam Wendy Enyonam Adilamte, said the core objective of the forum was to make it clear to the public that the grading system is fair and not biased. She corrected that having a grade 9 is not an indication that the student has failed. It rather specifies their potential.
The grading system is fair, right? We outlined the objectives of this forum, and I think that from what I have seen, we have achieved it. People now have a better understanding of the grading system. I think that at the end of this forum, when somebody gets a 5, everybody knows that that child is an average candidate.
The Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Eric Nkanta, said the BEC has not been cancelled and would not be cancelled.
Don't communicate that we are no more writing BEC. BEC is not cancelled. We are writing for even those who are in interest who will also write.
A former employee of WAEC, who is also an educational researcher at the University of Cape Coast, Professor Kafuite, said the standing grading system used by WAEC for the selection and segregation of results of candidates puts the scores in an ascending order, changes raw scores obtained, but not the percentages. Therefore, changing from BEC to the criteria reference system would only lead to more failures.
It's still something WAEC and GES must sit together and adopt maybe a new system or a revised GEC Standard 9 system. But statistically speaking, if we talk about Standard 9, we are going through a normal distribution process where we have the 4% up to the 20%, then we go down again.
The BC grading system focuses on the normal 70% and 30% scores, which constitute the mean of the scores and standard deviation of the scores, as well as the external scores.
Now, Ghana is part of 6 African pilot countries taking measures to strengthen the national and regional science, technology and innovation (STI) policies to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. A consultative group workshop on national monitoring and evaluation framework was therefore organized by the Council for Science and Industrial Research, Science and Technology Policy Research Institute (CSIR), STPRI, in collaboration with Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, MESTI, in Accra. The aim was to track Ghana's progress so far at its STIs for SDGs roadmap.
It is evident that science, technology and innovation have brought dramatic transformation to societies and economies in recent years. However, countries need to strategically plan processes of transformation to ensure they are not left behind in the STI transformation as far as development is concerned. Ghana is one of the countries participating in the Global Pilot Program launched in July 2019 by UN Interagency Task Team for the preparation of roadmaps of science, technology and innovation for the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, STI for SDGs. An important initiative linked to the preparation of the roadmap is a CEDA-funded project strengthening the science, technology and innovation STI system for sustainable development, which began in 2021. Also, the design of a monitoring and evaluation system is an essential component of the STI for SDGs roadmap. Hence, officials from the Council for Science and Industrial Research, Science and Technology Policy Research Institute, CSIR STEPRI, in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, have organized a consultative group workshop in Accra. The Director of Science, Technology and Innovation at the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, Mr. Kwame Nakweisen, intimated that Ghana is making efforts at enhancing STI application and development in the country.
It is expected that this M&E framework will help in the tracking of Ghana's progress in strengthening STI systems with reference to the RSSR and other key STI-related instruments, such as the National STI Policy, Ghana's STI for SDGs Roadmap, the Medium-Term Development Plan, amongst others.
Dr. Wilhelmina Quay is a Director of Council for Science and Industrial Research, Science and Technology Policy Research Institute, CSIR STEPRI.
We are here to finalize this framework, and after this particular workshop, which seeks to raise awareness about the framework, we are also going into implementation in terms of tracking the indicators and the changes that are going to happen in the science, technology and innovation ecosystem.
The project aims to strengthen the STI system in 6 selected pilot African countries, which are Congo, Ghana, Namibia, Sierra Leone, Tanzania and Zimbabwe.
From the capital, let's go to Sunyani, where Employment and Labor Relations Minister Mr. Ignatius Bafwe says Ghanaians must not look down on TVET-related job skills. He says with artificial intelligence and other forms of technology changing what we see, what we know and what we do, the white-collar jobs many Ghanaians value are now endangered. The minister encouraged the youth to take advantage of TVET to reduce unemployment and secure their future. Mr. Bafwe was speaking at a micro, small and medium enterprises SME networking ceremony to hand over startup kits to 410 beneficiaries in Sunyani and the Bono regional capital.
The support for the 410 beneficiaries is part of a collaboration between the Ghanaian and German governments supported by GIZ and its local partners. Some beneficiaries were successful in a business idea competition, while the others received Ejumaya skills training under the Bono project, which is a collaboration between Ghana and Germany to deal with irregular migration, which people from the old Bono Ahafo area are noted for. The startup kits include deep freezers, hairdressing and barbering equipment, soap making and cutting machines, ovens and dehydrators, motorcycles, as well as industrial and computerized sewing machines. Mr. Joshua Ahiagba of GIZ gave more details.
These people we met today emerged as winners of the business idea competition, and all these people are receiving startup tools and equipment of various forms.
In an interview, Employment and Labour Relations Minister Mr. Ignatius Bafuiwa said TVET-related skills are the future and urged the beneficiaries to make the most of the opportunity. He also touched on the Bono project, which seeks to reduce or eliminate irregular migration through skills training.
It is not just by giving them tools to work with, sometimes even knowledge. There are people who are surrounded with opportunities and sometimes they are not even aware. So we try to create those awareness.
The ceremony had representatives of GIZ, government officials and beneficiaries from the Bono, Ahafo and Bono East regions. The head of programs at GIZ Ghana, Mr. Christian Jean, said the MSME subsector of the private sector is critical due to its capacity to create jobs. He further said since 2017 and under the new opportunities, they have supported 10,000 businesses, with about half of them now well-established businesses generating income. He added that training in useful skills is crucial in reducing unemployment.
The training covers several areas. It's included catering, fashion design, cosmetology, satellite installation, bakery, and more. A total of 300 young men and women participated and successfully completed the short-term skills training.
Madame Daniela Ousuapia is one of the beneficiaries and is convinced this is her big break. Another beneficiary is Isaac Awuni, and he says the support will help him expand his bakery business. The event also featured an exhibition of products of earlier beneficiaries of German support now running their own businesses.
And in the Western North region, teacher trainee allowances of 2022-2023 academic year will soon hit the accounts of the 49 colleges of education across the country. This was disclosed at the 14th congregation of the Sefirioso College of Education at Sefirioso.
The Sefirioso College of Education was established in 1952 with only 29 male students. The college has for the first time awarded degrees to 355 students made up of 238 males and 117 females. Such students were admitted in 2018 when government upgraded the college from diploma awarding to degree awarding. The college awarded Bachelor in Basic Education JHS option. 22 had first class, 167 got second class upper, 127 received second class lower division, 43 third class and 1 with pass. Results for 36 of them are withheld. Addressing the congregation, the director in charge of tertiary education, Dr. Yayo Jakeji, hinted that the government, through the Ministry of Education, secured funds for the payment of teacher training allowances for the 2022-2023 academic year. He said government is committed to investing more in TVET and STEM education in the country for the benefit of those who have desire to pursue engineering programs at the university.
STEM education shows real-world application. It incorporates hands-on learning. It promotes equality in education. It develops critical thinking. It fosters creativity.
The principal of the college, Dr. Emmanuel Gasema, appealed to the Education Ministry to help complete the abandoned science laboratory and other infrastructure projects in the school. The guest speaker, Professor Samuel Esiedu Ado, who is also the Dean of School of Graduate Studies at the University of Education, Winneba, also highlighted the importance of STEM education. The best male and female students of the year said the course was not easy, but their perseverance paid off.
Now, the Sanitation and Water Resources Minister, Madam Cecilia Dapaah, has tasked the Community Water and Sanitation Agency, CWSA, to liaise with the Green Ghana project and acquire seedlings to plant along the banks of river bodies on a working visit to the Brim River intake. The minister observed that the lack of vegetation coupled with the activities of illegal miners in the river bodies is affecting water deliveries services in the country. Winifred Afum with the details.
Officials of the Ghana Water Company Limited were with the minister on the visit. They inspected the Oda treatment plant and briefly engaged officers on site on its operations. Next was the Brim River to assess the state of the water body. The Brim River takes its source from the Etiwa range of hills in the eastern region and serves as one of the main tributaries of the Pra River. Brim River is rich in minerals and has been a source of gold for centuries, a powerful draw to illegal miners, and the fact why the river has not been spared the high level of devastation. Vegetation, which prevents the entry of various types of pollutants into the river, is lacking around the river. Madam Cecilia Dapaah questioned why river bodies which serve as sources of drinking water should be treated in this manner. The minister then visited the Oda lorry station and market for some interaction. She sensitized the market women and transport operators on the need to protect water bodies dotted around the country.
The more pollution that is introduced into the water body, the more chemicals we need to treat the water. And the more people have to pay as consumers. If we do not stop, there won't be any water, good water to treat. Therefore, the system will be closed or the system will cease functioning, and then there will be no water for the people in the catchment area and elsewhere.
Sector Minister Madam Cecilia Dapaah reiterated government's commitment to ensure protection and preservation of river bodies. For GBC News, Winifred Afum reporting.
And let's do some health now. A national agenda has shifted the focus of controlling malaria to its elimination has taken off in Accra. EcoBank Ghana, the Ghana Health Service and the Ministry of Health have launched the Zero Malaria Business Leadership Initiative, ZMBLI, in Ghana. EcoBank has therefore deposited $120,000 as seed capital to support the elimination fight by 2030. The Executive Director and the Head of Consumer Banking, EcoBank, Dr. Edward Botwe, said this national agenda requires all players in the fight against malaria to work with a timeline to make this course a success.
Ghana has achieved commendable successes in her fight against malaria. Due to financial contributions from stakeholders and partners, malaria-related deaths at all ages have dropped from 333 in 2019 to 155 by the end of 2022, representing 53%. Under 5 malaria case fatality rate also dropped from 0.12% in 2012 to 0.06% in 2022, a 50% reduction. The Ghana Health Service says in 2019 it recorded 12 deaths from malaria out of 100,000 malaria admissions, while 6 persons died out of every 100,000 malaria admissions in 2022. Despite these achievements, malaria remains a significant public health problem. In the new outline of the National Malaria Elimination Strategic Plan, sponsorship from the private sector is key in the domestic resource mobilization for Ghana. The Zero Malaria Business Leadership Initiative, ZIBLI, is part of the Zero Malaria Starts With Me campaign and is on the heels of Ghana consistently demonstrating her commitment to explore new approaches. In a presentation, the head of Marketing and Corporate Communication, EcoBank Ghana, Dr. Daniel Kasati, said contributions from other private entities are welcome both in kind or cash to meet the specific need in the national strategic area. The Executive Director and Head of Consumer Banking, Ecobank Ghana, Dr. Edward Botry, said Zibli aims to sustain and increase funding for the national malaria control and strengthen the capacity and coordination of the private sector advocacy coalition.
For us in Ecobank, it is not just about some attempt to tick a box or some attempt to be seen to be playing a role, but this is something that we strongly believe in.
The Director of Technical and Coordination, Ministry of Health, Dr. Bafo Ewa, said the goal to eliminate malaria is not a far-fetched dream, but an achievable reality. The ministry, he says, recognizes that a multi-sectorial and society-wide approach is imperative.
We need the collective strength, expertise, and resources of government agencies, civil society organizations, academic institutions, and crucially the private sector. And Clary has a particular interest in being part of this solution.
The chairperson of the National Malaria Advocacy Committee, Madame Nokodia, said partnership, consistency and sustainability are key in partnering the private sector to achieve this feat.
And now to climax the month of May, which celebrates women all over the world. The Fire Service Ladies Association, FISLA, of the Ghana National Fire Service, has honored female fire officers for their hard work and dedication to the country.
With its slogan, Unity, the Fire Service Ladies Association, FISLA, aims at ensuring a safe and secured environment for all women in the service. The issues of gender parity in the security agencies like GNFS always come into question, especially when institutions used to be the preserve of men. Out of the 14 directorates under the command of the Chief Fire Officer, 8, representing 57%, are headed by very hard-working and committed women officers. 4 of the female officers also serve as regional commanders. It is quite obvious that gender and women empowerment is yielding dividends in the service. The president of FISLA, who is also the Tema Regional Commander, ACFO1 Doris Lamte, urged members to continue to advocate for gender equality.
We will foster an inclusive environment that encourages active participation from all members, where everyone's voice are heard and valued.
The Chief Fire Officer, Julius Kuno, called on FISLA to work together with the service to meet its targets in reducing fires in the country.
I am waiting for the day a female officer shall be appointed as Chief Fire Officer. That's a thanks to you. I therefore call on you all, especially the younger ones, to learn and work very hard in your operational and administrative duties and to acquaint yourselves of the nitty-gritty of the core activities and mandate of the service.
Officers in operations, drivers of fire tenders, assistant group officers and sports. The Chief Director of the Ministry of Interior, Madame Adelaide Anokumi, and the Chief Fire Officer, Julius Kuno, were also recognized. Other awards also went to female Deputy Chief Fire Officers, female Regional Fire Commanders, a retired FISLA member, an outstanding FISLA Executive member, and an outstanding FISLA Regional Executive. Goal 5 of the SDG seeks to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Gender equality is not only a fundamental human right, but a necessary foundation for peaceful, prosperous and sustainable world. The celebration was themed, FISLA, our role in gender and women empowerment.
Let's take you to the foreign front now in Nigeria, where police have rescued 6 pregnant women after busting a suspected baby factory in Rivers State. Police said they had arrested a 39-year-old woman, the alleged owner of the child trafficking home.
Local media said a 39-year-old woman, the alleged owner of the child trafficking home, had confessed to the crime and that she had been in the trafficking business for a long time. The State Commissioner of Police said the prime suspect and her accomplice are currently in custody and further investigation is in top gear for the possible arrest of other suspects in connection with the crime. Stories of the so-called baby factories are not uncommon in Nigeria, where women are abducted for the purpose of getting them pregnant and selling the babies. In 2019, Nigerian police freed 19 pregnant women from properties in Lagos described as baby factories. A year earlier, more than 160 children were rescued from 2 unregistered orphanages in the city.
It's a Friday. Of course, you want to know how the weather will go for you wherever you are in the corners of this country this weekend. And Frederick Kujo, who's the meteorologist with Ghana Meteo Agency, joins us on the phone lines now. Good morning, Frederick.
Good morning, Maltiti.
Rather good day yesterday for the farmers because it rained massively in Accra. They're expecting more showers over the weekend in the capital and everywhere else in Ghana.
Well, for now towards the weekend, mostly for today, bright and fair weather will be seen with occasional cloudiness and then also pockets of light rain across the entire country. From tomorrow into Sunday, more of cloudiness will be seen for the early hours of the morning, as well as some isolated rainfall. But then towards the northern half of the country, more of isolated to scattered thunderstorms or rain will be seen for Saturday and then Sunday. Those of us over southern Ghana, then towards the coastline, more of cloudiness with sunny intervals will be seen, and then also pockets of isolated rain will be seen mostly for the weekend. So we don't expect so much rainfall activity for the southern half over the weekend, but then towards the northern sector, more of isolated thunderstorms and rainfall will be seen for those areas. Temperatures generally will also be from about 23 degrees Celsius in the early hours of the morning, and then to about 35 degrees Celsius in the afternoon.
Thank you so much, Frederick Kujo, giving us those details. And if you missed it, maybe you just switched on your TV and put the channel on Ghana Television. You can go to our social media handles at GTV Ghana. You can get the weather updates, as well as the Meteo Agency's websites and social media handles. They're very active on Twitter. But that's it for GTV Breakfast News. You know where you can get more of your trending news on gbcghanaonline.com. I am Maltiti Saida Sadiq. Up next is the rise of mobile malware. Yesterday I heard somebody on social media crying that she had lost 5 million followers, her accounts, and so the rise of mobile malware. Jedu is here to tell you all that you can do to protect your accounts and your phone. A bit later, headlines with the ladies who come your way. I'll be back with all that's happening with the princesses of Ghana in the sports. Stay with us.